Hello everybody, this is Trina. I'm going to make a card today inspired by the colors of the Feels Like Home collection from Close to My Heart. And I'm pulling out my Real Arteza Real Brush markers and the Sugar Plum ink pad and re-inker because I plan on watercoloring a bit, and also a PearlEx mica powder. And I actually don't end up using this one, but this is the shimmer pen from Close to My Heart, and that is called Micro Pearl is the color from PearlEx. I've already added some gumbo arabic to the mix, so I can just add it with water and it will stay where I put it. So I'm also using Card Captions from Close to My Heart. That was I think it was a January stamp of the month. I'm also using watercolor paper because I don't want my paper to warp, and this works pretty good. So I'm starting off with I think it's Budding Peonies stamp set. Let me look real quick. Budding Peonies. It's actually Budding Peony, but I always say peonies because there's more than one in the stamp set. Anyways, so I'm just going ahead and stamping this in my VersaFine. Actually, it's not VersaFine. Well, it might be VersaFine. It's Versamark ink pad, and I'm going to use I think it's an antique gold embossing powder. I've had this for a long time, and I think the brand is a la mode, but I'm not sure. But I like I said, I got them in a 3-pack long time ago, and I love them. They work pretty well. So I'm going ahead and making sure that I don't have any extras, and I'm dumping that back in the container as well as I can. And honestly, with this card, I didn't really have an idea as to what I wanted to do. I had done a card, a deepest sympathy card beforehand, and I liked how it turned out, so I kind of wanted to try something similar so that I could do it for you guys on video. I didn't really want to do the sympathy card on video because I don't know, it just seemed like I was using it for business instead of, from a friend to a friend. So I just wanted to make sure that I was authentic in my feelings, and so I did the sympathy card off camera, and I'm going to do a similar card. It's not exactly the same, but it is similar to the sympathy card, just so I can give you guys an idea of the process that I went through to make my sympathy card as well. So really, you guys won't be missing out. So right now I'm just heating. My heat gun is ancient, and when I mean ancient, it's like 10 years old or something like that. It's ridiculously ancient. But, I think I want to save up for new lighting rather than another heat gun, so that's what I'm going to be working on. I'm just going to go ahead and heat up all of this. Don't ask me why I didn't skip through it, but I did speed this video up. Believe it or not, it took me about 3 hours to do this card, and most of it was because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, exactly. So I got my heat embossing done, and usually when I don't know what I'm doing, it ends up, most of my time that it takes to do it is searching for things and putting getting things ready and all that kind of stuff. So what I did was I had a couple of drops of the Sugar Plum Reinker, and I'd had it in the lid of my ink pad, which this is a reservoir for watercoloring in particularly. So I went ahead and added a little bit of my PearlEx powder and water, and I'm just mixing it up, trying to get the right mixture so I can watercolor with it. Honestly, I don't care too much for how the PearlEx kind of outshined the gold embossing powder, but I still like how the card turned out, which is why you guys are seeing it. Because if I didn't like it, I probably wouldn't have shown it in the first place. So mostly because if I don't like my cards, I won't show them because I won't use them. So I'll just, use that as a lesson learned and try something different. And practice or play or, whatever until I do find what I like. So I did my first coat, and now I'm going to go ahead and try to add a little bit more color so that I can do some shading. I don't really know how well this works out. I actually have since found a Arteza Real Brush color that works really great for shading. Let me see if I can find that. If you guys do watercolor with your Sugar Plum ink from Close to My Heart, the color Grape Purple, number 148 in the Arteza Real Brush markers, works amazing with the Sugar Plum color. So just a heads up, it's much easier than going over this like 4 or 5 times. So I didn't realize that until after I had made this card. So I do have, I'm going to have a little stretch with a couple of videos because I needed 3 or 4 cards. Actually, I think it's 5, and I've got another one to make for my nephew coming up. So, and maybe one for my mother-in-law. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm just going back in and adding shading. I don't know. It's kind of self-explanatory. I'm just trying to find the places that are kind of already darkened. They have lines on them that Close to My Heart designers have already established, so that makes it a lot easier. But it's, just going around through those and finding what I feel needs shaded. Honestly, I'm not a professional. I'm just playing around, enjoying myself, and creating while I'm doing it. So like I was saying, I have like 3 or 4, maybe 5 cards lined up, and they all turn out a little bit different, but I'm excited to actually have something to show you guys. I'm really loving the Budding Peony set, and if I can show you guys a couple of different, cards to make or to inspire you guys, I'm all for it. So like I said, I'm excited to get crafting again, and so we'll see those coming up soon in the next couple of weeks. I'm also going to be using this time to get some scrapbooking in, and I'm so very excited about that. I have been wanting to scrapbook for so long that it's just, I'm very excited. So I'm going to get these guys edited and then take some time and figure out exactly where I want to start scrapbooking. I have Halloween photos. I have like literally over 5,000, probably around 15,000 photos. I can guarantee you not all of those are going to get scrapped in my lifetime, but I really do want to get a lot of them done. So I am hoping that I can at least get those started. I know that I've started on my son's album, and that's kind of where I'm inspired to keep going. So that may be one of the places that I start. So here is a close-up of what it looks like now. It looks kind of like a mess, honestly, to me. And the reason being is mostly because of the PearlEx. The PearlEx just kind of, it shines, so it doesn't really show shadows very much. And I don't know, I have learned since then that if I want to use PearlEx, I don't really want to use gold embossing powder with it. One of the things that I did learn was that I can clean up my messes with water, which is awesome, even with the PearlEx. So that's what I'm doing here, just kind of getting it wet and rubbing a little bit of the water into the paper to help it loosen up the color. So, and while it doesn't work perfectly, it's good enough. On camera that sure looks awful, doesn't it? The card at the rose actually didn't turn out nearly as awful as that looks. So now I'm going to work on drying it, and then I'm going to start on the leaves. This is where the Arteza Real Brush markers come in really handy because they have fine tips. I do have colors from Close to My Heart that I could have used as well. I fiddled with these colors with the first card that I made, the sympathy card, and I liked this color combo, so I figured I'd just go ahead and use it. I'm trying to remember which colors I used. I can't remember which colors. I'll have to look in the video. I thought I held them up, but maybe not. We'll see. But I do like how they work well together. There's a lighter green, like grass green color, and then there's a darker, I want to say it's olive. I can't remember. There's two that I like, and I cannot remember which ones they are. They might be olive green and crocodile green, maybe. Which would be numbers, let's see, olive green is 146 and crocodile green is 126. I think those are the two that I pulled. And then I just go ahead and use a little bit of water to, blend them together, which is pretty easy. The watercoloring didn't really take that much time. Altogether, it was about 15 to 20 minutes to do the watercoloring. Most of it, like I said, was, heat embossing and finding what I wanted to use, and just letting my brain catch up to catch my ideas and figure out where I needed to start. And so that's why I kind of cut it down. As far as time, I don't know anybody that wants to watch a card video and especially since it's just a card, not a layout video, for over an hour. So I'm glad that I was able to cut some things and make this about a half hour long. It's just under a little over 20 minutes. So proud of myself for that. Hey, see, there it is. I actually did. That is the grape purple that I found. And honestly, I don't know exactly how I found it. I just kind of looked over at my stash and just grabbed it. I didn't even look through anything to find it, which is awesome. That never happens to me. I always have to look everything up. So I'm just going to go over this with the grape purple, and we'll see what it looks like from there. So I filled in the center because the center is naturally darker in a flower. So, well, not always, but in this particular case it would be because all of the petals are curved up and around it. So I darkened that, and then I'm going to go through on all of the uh, originally darkened areas, shaded areas, and fill those in. So I'm trying to do little fast flicky strokes. In one of my other videos I said flick it like you mean it, and that's really, when you do flowers, you really gotta flick it. Flicking's good. Um, so that's kind of what I'm doing. And I think I accidentally cut off the video coming up. I don't remember exactly what I did, but we shall see what the end of this, oh, there we go. See, I did, darn it. I don't know where that video, I don't know if I accidentally didn't record it or if I lost the video, or, but I did not find the video, so. Anyways, so as you can see, I have cut a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 base, and I have cut down the flower down to just a little bit, like 4 by 5 1/2 or 5 1/4, something like that, and then just stuck it in the center. I did use the just plain sugar plum to go, and a little bit of water to go around the edges of the flower, and kind of colored in the background just the tiniest bit. It was very, very light. And then actually, you know, that blue is not that size because I did the gold strip down underneath. Sorry about my voice. So I added just that gold strip to bring out the embossing, and then I embossed So Grateful from the stamp set. It wasn't Card Captions, it was something. I don't remember what it was called. I just showed you guys at the beginning of that one. Anyways, it says So Grateful. Card Captions. It is Card Captions. Look at that. And I'm going to dovetail the end and pop it up with foam. And this is the general layout for the sympathy card. Instead of, it's not exactly the same. Like I said, the flowers blue instead of pink, but the layout of the card was similar. And I just put this up on foam dot, or foam, not dots, foam. And I'm a stickler here. I'm not exactly sure where I want to put it, and it did take me a little bit to figure out whether I want it up or whether I want it down, and then I was just like, you know what, it looks okay both ways, so I'm just gonna have to just put it down and just deal with it and be happy with it, because I can't spend all day trying to figure out, do I want it 1/4 of an inch up or 1/4 of an inch down? It was just like, okay, just decide already. Which is another reason why I'm very glad that I was able to fast forward this. So that was the card, and I did go off and forget sequins. And then I realized it and came back to it. And so I was like, okay, we got to do this. So um, I just kind of like to sprinkle mine on there and then take off anything that doesn't look right. And if something needs scooted over, that's scooted over. But for the most part, it's fairly organic as far as dropping them. And there are so many different colors or I don't know, colors. It's not really colors. Texture? I don't know if it's texture either. Yeah, it might be. I don't know. Surfaces to these sequins that, I just had to decide. I kind of wanted to go with the matte finish. That's the word, finishes. Anyways, I wanted to go with the matte finish for the sequins. I seem to really like the matte finish, but it went with the embossing powder as well as the gold paper strip down there at the bottom. So I'm just gonna spread these out, and I use my whatever it's called, quick stick, the quicker poker picker upper. And I just realized that you can pull the back end out of it, like I just did there on screen. You can pull the back end out of it, and it has like a poking, stabby little end on it. I was like, I have had this thing for like 5 years, and I just figured that out. I was just like, are you serious? That would have made things so much easier so long ago. Anyways, so just in case you guys didn't know that, the end does come out because on the side it does not. It tells you how to use the sticky part and how to get more sticky on there, but it does not tell you anything about the pokey tool in the back. So if you guys didn't know, there is a pokey tool that comes out of the back side. So yeah, I'm just gonna put these down. I like I said, just kept it kind of organic. Added a couple here and there, and then I just needed to add a little bit more sparkles. So I think I add some bitty sparkles. I love bitty sparkles. I really do. They're one of my favorite things to add because they're so dainty and little, but they add just the littlest specks of light and shiny. And I'm also trying not to go really, take forever. So I'm going to just, find a place for these to be. And actually, that one didn't look bad up above Grateful. Anyways, so I hope you guys enjoyed this card and the cards to come. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.